Hi friends, welcome to GMK tutorials. So here today we are going to discussing on why clock. So it means that what is the need of clock in the synchronous circuits or sequential circuits. Okay, so that is the main agenda. Here clock means basically we know that a clock is a periodic signal, right? A clock is a periodic signal which synchronizes the sequential circuits, okay, which synchronizes the sequential circuits. So what is the need of synchronization? Basically, suppose if you are taking a digital communication circuits, okay, all operations are going to be performed with the help of a clock signals only. Because of if you are applying so many inputs to the corresponding system, when we are producing the output, it is one of the question mark, right? So at that time, this clock plays a very important. Even if you are applying the input signal, whenever the clock is activated, at that time only that produces the corresponding output to the corresponding system. So for that purpose, to synchronize all the devices in the system, we need a clock signal. Okay, that is a one of the most important point. Okay, for synchronization operation, storage elements must be clock triggered. Okay, for synchronization circuits. So synchronization circuits means that obviously clock is applied to the synchronization circuits means that clock is applied to all circuits at a time. So this is also one important one. So we know that generally synchronization circuits means synchronization circuits means like storage elements. Okay, so basically we know that flip-flop. Okay, flip-flop is a storage elements. Flip-flop is a storage element. Okay, flip-flop is a storage element. So we know that generally latches are level trigger. Okay, latches are level triggered, but but flip-flops are edge triggered. But flip-flops are edge triggered. Okay, so first of all, how to represent the clock? Okay, let us see how to represent the clock. So clock can be represented like this. Okay, so clock is nothing but a periodic signal. Okay, so in this it is a, let us consider this a clock signal. Okay, it is a clock signal. It is nothing but rising edge. It is nothing but a falling edge, falling edge, rising edge, falling edge. Okay, so here this is generally called as a on period. Okay, or else on time. Okay, this is generally called as a on time. This is called as half time, or else on period half time. So totally from this complete can be called as a time period. Okay, time period. We know that generally frequency of the clock is equal to 1 by time period. Okay, if you want to know the time period, if you have a 1 by frequency, both are in reciprocal manner. Okay, so depending upon the activation of the corresponding one, it is nothing but it is a negative triggered or it may be positive trigger. Suppose the flip flop is activated. Okay, flip flop is activated for this one, it is nothing but a positive edge triggered flip flops. Suppose if the flip flops are activated for this one, it is nothing but a negative edge triggered flip flops. Okay, so this is nothing but regarding the clock signal. Okay, so positive edge trigger and negative edge trigger. Suppose moreover, these clocks can be represented as, okay, these clocks can be represented as a clock can be represented as clock is represented as small rectangle, small triangle, okay, small triangle symbol. Suppose if you are taking SR flip flop or any flip flop, this is nothing but inputs. This is nothing but this small triangle represents a clock signal. Okay, this is nothing but a clock is, or if you are taking SR flip flop, it is a flip flop consisting of your outputs Q and Q bar. Okay, so this is a positive edge trigger flip flop. Okay, it is a positive edge trigger flip flop. Suppose it is a flip flop, these are the outputs Q bar, S, R. It is a class signal. It is a, so it is nothing but a negative edge trigger. Negative edge trigger flip flop. So negative edge means that it can be represented as a small bubble. Okay, it consisting of a small bubble. So it is having small bubble in the triangle. Okay, so this is nothing but a clock concept here. Okay, let us see. Moreover, this clock is also very useful for if you want to control the sequence of operations. Obviously, we need a clock signal. So I will mention that point also. To control the sequence of operation, to control the sequence of operations, clock is needed. Okay, so that means if you have more number of sequences, so in this case, even though if you are applying, okay, even if you are applying, even though if you are applied inputs without clock output not changed. Okay, so let us say I will Telugu simple says in Telugu. So basic clock ante em ledu. Okay na, so clock means that, okay, basically clock means it is a periodic signal which is used to synchronize the sequential circuits. Sequential circuits means that మనకి ఏం తెలుసు, స్టోరేజ్ చేసుకునేవి అండ్ క్లాక్ సిగ్నల్స్ అన్నిటికీ ఒకేసారి అప్లై చేసిన సీక్వెన్షియల్. సో జనరల్లీ లాచెస్ మీన్స్ దట్ ఇట్ ఇస్ అ లెవెల్ ట్రిగ్గర్ అని చెప్తాం. ఫ్లిప్ ఫ్లాప్స్ అంటే ఎడ్జ్ ట్రిగ్గర్ అని. సో ఎడ్జ్ ట్రిగ్గర్ అంటే జనరల్ గా ఈ క్లాక్ సిగ్నల్ చూస్తారంటే పాజిటివ్ అంటే రైజింగ్ ఉండదని పాజిటివ్ అంటాం, డౌన్వర్డ్స్ ఉండదని ఫాలింగ్ ఎడ్జ్ అంటాం, లేదా ఫాలింగ్ ఎడ్జ్ అండ్ రైజింగ్ ఎడ్జ్. సో ఇట్ కెన్ బి రిప్రజెంటెడ్ as a falling, it is nothing but a rising. ఓకే, సో రైజింగ్ ఎడ్జ్ పాజిటివ్ అని, ఫాలింగ్ ఎడ్జ్ అయితే నెగిటివ్ ఎడ్జ్. సో ఈ ఫ్లిప్ ఫ్లాప్ అనేది పాజిటివ్ ఎడ్జ్ కానీ యాక్టివేట్ అయితే దాన్ని పాజిటివ్ ఎడ్జ్ ట్రిగ్గర్ ఫ్లిప్ ఫ్లాప్ అని చెప్తాం, లేదా నెగిటివ్ ఎడ్జ్ కి యాక్టివేషన్ నెగిటివ్ ట్రిగ్గర్ ఫ్లిప్ ఫ్లాప్ అని చెప్తాం. ఓకేనా, సో పాజిటివ్ ఎడ్జ్ అయితే క్లాక్ సిగ్నల్ ట్రయాంగిల్ సింబల్స్ యూస్ చేస్తాం, నెగిటివ్ ఎడ్జ్ అయితే బబుల్ యూస్ చేస్తాం. ఓకేనా, సో దట్ ఈస్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ది ఇంపార్టెంట్ పాయింట్. సో టు కంట్రోల్ ది సీక్వెన్స్ ఆఫ్ ఆపరేషన్స్ మనం క్లాక్ సిగ్నల్స్ యూస్ చేస్తాం. ఈవెన్ ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ అప్లయింగ్ ఇన్పుట్స్ అప్లై చేసినా కానీ అవుట్పుట్ చేంజ్ కాదు, బికాస్ ఆఫ్ యు ఆర్ నాట్ అప్లయింగ్ ది క్లాక్ సిగ్నల్. సో దట్ ఈస్ నథింగ్ బట్ నీడ్ ఆఫ్ క్లాక్ సిగ్నల్.